Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the market close. Holy banana bread. The election is behind us. We have a new minority government, very close to a majority, but it's a minority liberal government. So we'll talk a tiny bit about the polls. Did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? What the heck is going on? We of course we have also got news about GDP. Of course, the American GDP dropped today, and that's one of the reasons that we have a red day on the market. Holy banana bread. It's pretty darn red, and we're going to definitely take a look at that as well. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's jump in. Let's jump in. This is also the last day of the month, so if we're going to salvage this month, it's got to be in the next 13 minutes. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, guys. Here's the TSX. We are currently down 0.85%. Now, we've rebounded a little bit in the afternoon, but we're not going to make it to that blue line. There's no way we're going to make it to that blue line. So April is going into the books. It's going into the books as a red month. What can I say? Same. I think it's the same. Yeah, it is the same deal here for the S&P 500. Also down 0.36%. I mean, it is still possible in 13 minutes to get above that line, but unlikely. As for the NASDAQ, different story. A different story. Now, the NASDAQ is down today 0.80%, but guys, they are above that line. All they got to do is just stay flat the rest of the day, and the NASDAQ will have had a green April. So there is that. Dow Jones, well, that line's out of reach. They're having a pretty good candle right now, but they are down 0.11%, while 0.08% now. Same idea. Russell down 0.74%. All the commodities also not having the best day. Gold is down 0.64. Silver's down a full percent. WTI, West Texas Intermediate, down a full 3%. Yikes. Bitcoin down not that much, about 0.24. Ethereum down as well. All right, let's head over to a heat map and see what we have here. And as you can see, mostly dominated by red, but there are a few little standouts on the positive side. Look at Loblaws. Loblaws up 2%. That's not too shabby. Amera up 1.57. Fortis is up a little bit. Bell, I usually can tell if the market's red because Bell is up. So Bell is up 0.74%. The banks, most of the banks look to be down. So Royal Bank down a full percent, BMO down, Manulife Financial down, TD down, Bank of Nova Scotia down, National Bank down. Great. I was gonna say great West wife. Yeah, no, great. I think I need a coffee. When I start to do an Elmer Fudd impersonation, it's time for coffee. Very, very good. Okay, Great West Life, they are a little bit on the upside. Okay, let's take a look at the U.S. The U.S., same idea, a lot of red. You got Tesla down over here by 3%. You got NVIDIA down, Meta down, Google down, Microsoft down. Apple's slightly up. I'd call that flat. I'd still call that flat, 0.13%. Holy banana bread. Heading to crypto. Wow, look at that. A lot of red. Everybody seems to be down. Bitcoin down 1.37. Ethereum down a full 2%. XRP down 4.3. Solana is down. Oh boy. So yeah, definitely a red day. A red day on in the world of crypto. There's about 15,000 crypto coins out there. I call them crap coins. I like to, and I don't even know how this started, but I like to pick one that's the opposite color of what everybody else is doing. It's going to be a coin I've never heard about. Okay, Rismus. This almost sounds dirty. I don't know. But Rismus is a coin. It is worth, what is it worth? 0.000002. It's not good. It's not good. Guys, I don't know what this coin is. I actually kind of don't want to know what it is. But if you're interested in some of the crap coins, do your due diligence, read the white papers, make sure it has a function. Honestly, I'm pretty pro crypto, but not for those coins. Stick to your Bitcoins, your Ethereum, even the Dogecoin is better than some of those little coins that we have down there. All right, let's jump back there and let's go big and let's jump into the into the chat. Let's see here. I'll skip. I'm gonna skip your first two, Derek. As you say, best wishes to Candace, who I drive nuts. Laugh my ass off. No, you don't drive me nuts. That's just the LLXN train is it's interesting. It's interesting. What can I say? All right. We got Dimitri in here from Mountain of Inspiration with a couple of waves. Hello, Dr. Candace, and hello, Derek. We got Paul in there saying hello. And Ricardo says, good afternoon. Market looking shaky with the negative GDP data of growth. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Q1, USA, it's down. I think it's only down like by 0.3, but it's the first quarter of negative GDP. So basically, in 3 months from now, the US, if they have another negative quarter, and it's really looking like they're going to, they could be in a technical recession. So we may have a technical recession in the United States in 3 months. That's it. 3 months. In Canada, yeah, we did have our monthly GDP drop today, and it was negative. But our first quarter GDP is expected to be in the positive, and that means we can't be in a technical recession in 3 months. In fact, for us, it's more like 6 months. So yeah, the U.S. is going to beat us to the recession. Fun. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Paul says, going up a little in the last minutes. Yes, I did see a little bit of green towards the end of the day. Always love that. We got a new month. We got May starting tomorrow. Maybe we can have a green month. Maybe. I'll be optimistic, but there's this one orange Azilla tramping around in Washington that may not let us have our green month. So anything could happen. Anything could happen. Ricardo says, anyone else notice that we haven't gotten higher than the day of Big Rip April 10th? Yeah, we have. I mean, it's actually interesting. Like the TSX, I'm only mentioning this because I was actually looking at it earlier today. Peaked around the end of April, the end of January. And so that, of course, that's the value for the TSX that we'll use to determine whether or not we're in a bear market. Spoiler alert, we're not in a bear market yet, guys. We're not in a bear market yet. Mario says, good afternoon, everyone. And we got Mary in the house. So as you guys know, Mary's the unofficial captain of the like button. So hit that button. I'm going to have some coffee. That's what I do when Mary enters the house. It's coffee time. And we have Moonlight saying hello. Oh, and going back to Mary. Mary's a swell person. So Mary, as you guys may or may not know, she won the swag giveaway last month. She has decided, because she's so kind, she has decided that she wants to buy a hat for Vic. So Vic, if you're here, if you're watching it now, or if you're watching this on the replay, fire me off an email. Let me know what you want. We'll get the link back to you. We'll get it done. Vic. All right. That's awesome. I love it. Let's see here. Let's see. Good afternoon, Ricardo from Mountain of Inspiration. Brian says, good afternoon, everyone. And Dimitri is welcoming everyone. Today, Dimitri is the official welcome wagon. Vic is here. Here we are, Vic. Vic says, you sound well. You'll feel better when we all hit the like button. Help Candace out, folks. Yes. And Vic, just send me an email, admin@mountainfinance.ca, or click contact on the YouTube. Let me know what you want. Let me know. We'll get you a hat. We'll get you a hat. I think that's what Mary wanted you to have. I think she said to buy the dip, but here's the thing, Vic. I'm versatile. I'll make one. I'll even custom make one for you if you want. Just let me know what you want. I'll get the link, and all you got to do then is just click the link, give them your address, and it ships out to you, and you will have a hat. It's awesome. Or if you want a T-shirt, I mean, it's up to you. It doesn't. I don't care. I'm good. Let's see. RD says, "Hey, all, Candace, how are you always so cheerful?" It's stage. It's stage. Like, if you when you learn to live in front of the camera, it doesn't matter how you feel. Like, quite literally, I could be down in the dumps, but that camera starts. I'm not in the dumps. I gotta perform. It's like the show must go on. Great Queen song. It's like, you got your smile, you keep on doing it, no matter what happens. You gotta do that. You gotta do that. So yeah, I doubt you'll ever see a depressed me on the screen. You might see an angry me every so often if I'm angry at something somebody stupid has done, or if I'm angry at Trump. But for the most part, yeah, the cheerfulness, it's sticking around. It's sticking around. Where is your cat? Good question. There's 3 of them. None of them are in the room in the studio right now. I do have the door. Like, I got the door open a crack in case one wants to come in and pay a visit. But last I checked, I believe they're all sleeping in different parts of the house. So what can I do? Paul says, buy the double dip. And I'm glad he said that, because the double made me think, wait a minute, we got the bell here coming up basically in about 2 minutes. So guys, if you do not like loud noises, the bell's a little loud, so I always like to give people a bit of a warning. So, turn that volume down right there at while in a minute and a half. Pull out your earplugs, whatever it takes. I don't want to hurt anybody's ears, but I'll try to give you about a 10-second warning though before we do it. All right. Brian says, after watching your ETF video, many thanks. I almost bought ENCC today, but changed my mind and bought Bank just before joining here. Nice. Well, they're both nice. I like them both. Like ENCC right now, they're kind of at a slave to geopolitical events. Like, if oil doesn't recover anytime fast, ENCC, you'll be sitting in the red, but you're still going to get those dividends. So that's kind of the nice thing. And that's kind of one of those things that a lot of times people are easy to miss. Like, when you are an income investor, you're not really worried about the red. I mean, you're obviously you don't want to, you don't want the value of your ETF to go down too much. But if it's down a little bit while there's a slump in that market, usually you're okay, because that means that ETF is doing really well when it comes to doing options, writing call options, getting premiums, and paying you big dividends. So it really boils down to a couple of things like that. So it's not as important when you are an income investor, of course. I still like to track it though. I still like to track it because I like at the end of the day to be in. All right, it is bell time, guys. Here we go. It's the end of April. Welcome to May. As investors, we're entering a new month. Oh boy. We'll see how May is. We'll see what May has in store for us. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right. Ricardo says, I scooped me 20 shares of Wolf at $3.34 today, hoping they performed in earnings. Plus, the CHIPS Act should be funded. Let's hope. It'll be interesting. Paul says, if you had more than 3 cats, we would have to call you the cat lady. Yeah. I think that's the line. Like, I think a lot of families will reasonably have 3 cats, but that's where I draw the line. If it were up to Jill, we would probably have, by now, 6. I mean, I'm just like, nope, you can get another cat when one of these cats finishes its time. And that's, they're all pretty young. I think the oldest is Riley, the black cat, and he's about I think he's about 5 years old. So there's like a good 10 years, before hopefully before we have to look at getting a new cat in the house, or well, a kitten at that point. Cowboy is in the house. Greetings all. Hello, Cowboy. Good to see you. And of course, I saw Cowboy, and that instantly made me think of Alberta. So yeah, guys, we had, of course, our election. As you guys know, I think, unless you've been living under a rock, Mark Carney got back in as as prime minister. They fell a little bit short of that majority. So the polls have been predicting that they were going to finish around 190 seats, 169. So the nice thing about that is that I think they can still get stuff done. All they need is 3 people to sign on. And from what I'm hearing, I was listening to some interviews with I can't remember the name of the gentleman, but he's the only PC who got in Nova Scotia. He was saying that, they're probably going to work with the Liberals because a lot of the stuff, especially the stuff involving the country, involving Trump, they kind of want to work together to get that all resolved. So that's kind of what I was hoping to see. And here's an interesting thing. I'm going to make a crazy suggestion. I don't know if the Liberals will do it, but I'm going to make a crazy suggestion. You are, as prime minister, you are not confined to your own party when it comes to ministers. In times of war or other major crises for the country, we have had situations where the prime minister has brought in a minister from another party to sort of almost as kind of an olive branch so that people, so that the parties will work together. I think Carney, if you're watching this, Carney, I think it's time to have a conservative minister under the Liberal government. Let's do it. Let's show that you want to work with the other parties. That's my suggestion. It's probably not going to happen, but it's not outside the realm of possibilities, and I would suggest that. I would absolutely suggest that. So anyway, we're not going to get too deep into politics. I just think that would be kind of cool. I am glad that the election is over. I can get rid of that one part on my weekend news part. So now I can do and this is what I said. Whoever wins the election, I'm going to be hard on them. So I'm going to be hard on the Liberals. If the Conservatives have won, I'd be hard on the Conservatives. But I'm going to keep them accountable. I'll keep them accountable with my reporting anyway. All right, Brian. Brian says 3% difference in dividends, so I went with Bank. Yes, I do like Bank. Bank is very. It's a resilient ETF. I got to say that. I do like them. I like them quite a bit. And speaking of Bank, because of course you guys know that one was a sponsor, so Evolve sponsored that video. I still like Bank. Like they did show up. Actually, they showed up in my last list video because they warranted that. The next video from Evolve, the next one they're going to get me to do, is kind of in the same vein as Bank. It's eBank. So that will be sometime in May. I'm in no hurry at all. All right, Ricardo says, I have a weird question. How can I buy straight Canadian stocks using Fidelity? I was trying to buy Bank, but nothing showed. Ooh, that's a good question, Ricardo. I do not know. I do not know how you could actually do that. There's got to be a way. That almost sounds to me like that might be a question to take to ChatGPT to see if they know of any kind of yeah. And it's actually interesting. You're not the first person today. I had a comment from somebody from Spain, and they were like, I don't have access to any of these Canadian stocks, but I'm still watching your videos because I like looking at them. I'm like, okay. But gosh, yeah, there's got to be a broker in the U.S. that will give you access. You know what, Ricardo? That's such a good question that I'm going to highlight it. I want to find out. Not even for you. I want to find out for you, but I want to find out for myself too, because that's a really good one. Command Shift 4. That is the print. Basically, it creates a little highlight thing so I can print exactly what I highlighted. And there we go. I have now highlighted that. I need to look into that because that's a great question. That's question of the day so far, for sure. All right. Amateur investor says, what do you think of the new Global X Bitcoin covered call ETF with semi-monthly distributions? Oh, I don't know what I think about it. And I'll tell you why, because this is the first I heard of it. I did not realize that they dropped a covered call. Like, I know, of course, we got the BTCY, which is the purpose one. But this is interesting. This is very interesting. Do you have the ticker? If you have the ticker, I'll pull it up. I would love to take a look at it. But yeah, if anybody has the ticker for the new Global X Bitcoin covered call ETF, please drop it in and we'll take a look at it. Let's see. Ricardo says, I've been eyeing MSTY. It's supposed to be a high yield dividend. Yes, absolutely. Let me see here. Lots of videos of ballots being removed from polling stations, scary stuff, fixed elections. The Alberta people are signing up for freedom. Yeah, I did actually, I didn't see any of the videos, but at the same time, I was pretty stomped. I mean, I would hate to think that there was any kind of election shenanigans going on in Canada. But if that happened, they need to look into it. They absolutely do, for sure. Vic says, I think it's time we bring the Stanley Cup home. Any Canadian team, Oilers preferred. I am 100% on board. I would love to see. So obviously, Montreal and Ottawa are probably not going to make it. They're both down 3-1, I believe. So, but yeah, Winnipeg or I would say, well, I would say that it's going to be either Winnipeg or Edmonton. I'll say it probably won't be Toronto because they have a history of choking like really, really bad. I mean, Toronto chokes so bad they should have an OnlyFans page. I mean, anyway, we'll leave that be. Ricardo says, Penguins, baby. All right. I thought the Penguins didn't make it. All right. Maybe they're still in. I don't know. Let's see. You see majority companies that trade internationally, they use different tickers. For example, Denison in Canada is DML, in the US is DNN. Yeah, and in some cases that absolutely. Vic says, Candace, appreciate you saying you don't know when you don't know. I'm going to. You know what? I will absolutely. Here's the thing. I would rather say, like, if I don't know the answer, and one of you guys ask me something, I'm going to say I don't know, or I'll go look it up. I'm not going to make something up. I'm just not. I really, that to me, it's a loss of credibility. All right. BCCC. All right. Let's take a gander at this. Let me pull up. All right, here we go. And I need, that reminds me of something. All right, we'll mention it after we look at this. Hello. I'll just reload the page. I'll reload the page because it was giving me a white screen. All right, I like the BCCC. Let's take a look. I'm getting a little excited here. Oh, do we not have anything yet for it? BBC Global X Bitcoin. Yeah, here we go. Let's take a look. That's the U version. All right, well, we'll go to the U version for now. All right, let's see here. It's not giving me anything. It's not giving me anything at all. All right, you know what? All right, let's what we'll do here is BCCC Global X. If it's really, really new, maybe that's why I'm not finding it. But let's take a look here. Global X launches small cap and Bitcoin ETFs right here 6 hours ago. Okay, here we go. Let's see. 3 new ETFs. Global X now trading under the symbols BCCC. Here we go. I'm going to pull up, see if I got a page. See if we got a page here on. All right, BCCC. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, I don't have a lot of information yet, but I do I think Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is really prime. Like if you look at the BTCY, um, it's a good source of income. It's been a good source of income. Now, with the BC, and I'll pull this one up here, just sort of. All right, BTCY. One of the problems, and I will point this out, guys, in regards to Bitcoin. So this here's the purpose Bitcoin yield. Yes, it's a different company, but I think it's going to illustrate exactly what we're getting at here. So let's take a look at it. So this is opening. So it started at about 9, and at this point, Bitcoin was worth about around $60,000. And then, of course, we went into crypto winter, and it fell pretty hard. Now, by the time we got to here, Bitcoin, this is where Bitcoin initially was hitting some of its really big highs. It did, you can sort of see a little bit of that lost cap potential. But now, what's really interesting is that as Bitcoin has been kind of meandering a little bit, it has given this ETF a chance to get caught back to where it was originally. But you will, and this is the only problem with Bitcoin cover calls, is that you are going to have that loss potential as you start to recover, like as Bitcoin explodes. So when Bitcoin explodes, you're going to lose a little bit of that. So this is kind of what I do. This is kind of the way I look at it, is when Bitcoin is not doing so great or going sideways, like this whole the whole crypto winter, I love BTCY. It's giving me some good. It's just giving me some good money while I wait. But when it's exploding, so when we get into a point like, for example, right after the halvening, well, not immediately after. Like after the halvening, there was like about a little bit of time before that. But that at that point, what I did is I then basically moved out of that, moved into a regular Bitcoin ETF. But once we start moving back into a crypto winter, I will probably switch that back to a covered call. And it's kind of interesting. A lot of people are sort of thinking, has Bitcoin had its hurrah already? And I don't think it has. I still think we're going to get up to about 120,000 before we move into a crypto winter. So that's going to be very, very interesting. So we'll keep our eyes open though on this BCCC. I can't wait to see how this one moves. And there's a leverage. Is that a leveraged version? Ooh, that's interesting. BCCL. Ooh. Oh my. Oh my. That could be very interesting. Oh boy. So yeah, I mean, that, if you think about it, if you guys, when we have some of the explosive movement, with leverage, you're going to get a little bit of that, more of that back. So that could be a very interesting one, the BCCL. Oh boy. Why? I'm just wondering, like, it looks like these have already been launched. Why am I not seeing these yet? I'm going to try BCCL. Let's see, BCC. All right. It's just not showing up. And as soon as I put in like the L or that, it's just, I don't know what's going on. Oh boy. I really want to be able to see a bit more of the back end of this, but these are interesting. BCCC and BCCL. I'm liking it. All right. Vic says, anyone nerding out in Berkshire annual meeting this Saturday? That is interesting. Some of the words of wisdom, and here's the reality. I mean, he's getting old. We're not gonna have too many more of these wisdoms, these Warren Buffett wisdom events. So yeah, I would, and you know what? As we're heading into some very turbulent times, if anything, I would say, Vic, yeah, I am excited about this. I will, this could be, I hope it's not, but this could be his last hurrah. It could be. Yeah, I'm absolutely. And plus the fact that he's been around for so long, he's seen everything. Yeah, absolutely. I am very excited. You would think it was Trump. Well, it was Trump, but he didn't actually say anything today to turn it red. The reason the market was red today was because we got the Q1 GDP for the US, and the economy had contracted. They came in just under zero. I think it was negative 0.3. So, yeah, that put the fear of a recession in in the U.S. investors. And of course, it catches on here as well. I mean, there's a lot of fear. I mean, the United States going into a recession is not good for anybody, especially them, of course. Amateur says, I'm really intrigued by the semi-monthly distributions. I believe that is the first in Canada. That is interesting. That is very interesting. So I'll have to see how that works. Yeah, I mean, I probably need to do a video on BCCC and BCCL here. So yeah, I'm glad that you pointed that out to me. Holy banana bread. All right. Moonlight says, go Leafs, go. Are they playing tonight? I don't know if they're playing tonight. Let's see. To be fair, I only get excited for the Leafs till the third round. Yeah. Well, there used to be a joke about the Leafs. Oh, it's a dumb joke, but I'll tell it anyway. It's basically there was a custody battle. A little boy was being interviewed by the judge, and he was like, all right, well, he says, look, where is it that you want to go? And he was like, well, I don't want to go with my daddy. My daddy beats me. And I don't want to go with my mommy. My mommy beats me. I want to go with the Toronto Maple Leafs because they don't beat anybody. So yeah, anyway, that was the joke. It's dumb. It's very dumb. I know, but hey, I had to do it. I had to do it nonetheless. So yeah, what can I say? Oh boy. So yeah. I mean, guys, what we are looking at is people are going to be nervous, and hopefully I'm hoping that whatever's going to happen with the tariffs, like, I think Trump has to know. He has to know what he's doing to the economy. And he has. I know last week he had given hints that he was that he was thinking about working something out with China. And he's even said, now this is kind of interesting. Trump actually came out and said, "Oh yes, I've been in talks with China. We're trying to work out a deal." Now China has said, "Yeah, we're not in talks. There's no talks going. That's fake news." It's ironic. I almost never believe China, but now I kind of do believe China. So it's, what can I say? Ricardo says, what is your opinion on what sector we should focus with so many uncertainty looming? All right. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I think in a way, when you're looking at how you should be focusing your money at this point, I think we have to sort of almost get ready for that recession. So I think defensive investing is fantastic. Now, there's a couple of ways you can sort of look at it. If you have a long runway, so, let's say you're 30, you're 40, maybe even 50, you got some time. You got time to let the markets recover. So in a case like that, I wouldn't go out of my way to start rebalancing things into a more defensive strategy. What I would do is I would make sure the stuff I have in my portfolio, I would make sure that the fundamentals look good, that they've got a little bit of a moat to them, that you feel like the companies are going to be fine in the long run. And then I'd be dollar cost averaging through the through the recession and eventual bear market. And guys, we're still a little bit of ways from a bear market. So for a bear market, bare minimum, you need at least 20% down from the high, from the market high. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. And in fact, even when we had that, some of the big tariff days, so his Liberation Day or whatever, we got a little bit, we got past 10% down, but we've never got to actual bear market territory. So we got a little ways to go. I actually believe we'll probably enter the recession first. Maybe, but I'm kind of leaning that way at this point in time. So that's going to be, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to sort of watch this. But so where that goes is if you have a longer, like I said, if you have that longer runway, shore up, make sure if you've got risky stuff, those are the time to get rid of it. So I'll give you an example with the 0 to 100K challenge. I did sell my BlackBerry position. Not because I don't have good feelings about BlackBerry, but well, for two reasons. One, they were way up in profit at the time. And I have a feeling that they're I'm not gonna see those profits in BlackBerry for a while. So I did sell them. I'm gonna use that to, use that money to sort of help batten down the hatches a little bit more. So yeah, I'm continuing to do stuff like that. Now, if you have full confidence, like let's say, for example, you're holding something like CNR. CNR is a great stock. You don't have to worry about them. You can just dollar cost average while they're down. And the reality is they're also a recession-proof stock, so they're going to be fine. The banks will all be fine. So the big six will be fine on the other side. So will our insurance companies, to be honest. So there's a lot of different things that you can sort of look at. Now, if you're holding some small cap stocks, they're going to be the ones that have a higher percentage or a higher chance of, going under. I don't want to say, don't think all small caps are going to go under. I'll give you one example. I am holding, I'm holding Hammond. So Hammond Manufacturing, HMM.A, they're pretty small, but I have a lot of faith in them. I know what they do, and that's the whole thing. Having a good idea of what that company does and how that they will be able to navigate what's coming. That's all going to be very important. So definitely something to keep in mind. All right. The backdoor news says Trump is trying to crash the market to get rates down. I've heard a lot of different things. Yeah, so I've heard that he wants to crash the market to try to force Powell to reduce rates. So yeah, that's one thing. I've also on a more conspiracy type. With Trump, it's hard to say if it's a conspiracy theory. But there's also the story where he's trying to crash the markets so that he can put a bunch of money in it and then and then ride it back up. So that's a possibility too. I wouldn't put anything past him. All right, Brian says, I have YMAX and QDTE US ETFs that are paying weekly dividends. They pay every Friday, and that's kind of cool. It is kind of neat. I mean, to me, it boils down to as long as the dividend is reliable, I honestly don't care if it's monthly, quarterly. I'm not a huge fan of semi-annual ones or annual dividends, but weekly is kind of neat. It is kind of neat. I guess, let me have a coffee first here. Oh, so good. I guess if you were in a retirement portfolio and you were relying on that income, maybe having it come in every week is not a bad idea. But as long as it's sustainable, that's what I always say. Farhan says, what do you think overall opinion or outlook of 2025, how it will turn around? Should we keep cash on the side or DCA little by little? All right, so here's my strategy. My strategy for 2025 is, let's go to the whiteboard. Let's go to the whiteboard. Why not? Ooh, yeah. All right. So, all right, this here is going to be 2025. Obviously, we kind of started the year moving up a little bit. We've had a couple little things. All right, so what do I think is going to happen? Anyway, I'm looking at something like this. I'm seeing us having more of a slow down. So at maybe at this point here, let's say down here, we might have a bear market by the end of the year. We'll probably have a recession in Canada anyway. We'll probably have a recession around the same time. So what I am actually doing here is, here we go. So I'm kind of using the same little strategy here that I've shown many times. So as we're going up, whoops. All right, let's pull it over here. As we're going up right now, so let's say that this is now, I'm dollar cost average, or sorry, dollar cost estimate. I'm basically putting things into my cash position. So I'm using T cash. So I'll give you a general idea. Like in the 0 to 100K challenge, what I was doing at one point is I was putting like one away a month. So each month I was putting one into the cash position as we were moving along. And you can see, here's our one. Here's our one right here. Now, I then moved up to 2. I moved up to 4, moved up to 5. I think right now I'm currently at 6. So I'm buying, and keep in mind, this is all relative because, with the challenge, we have a limited money going into it because that's kind of the way we set it up. So yeah, like this last month, 6 went into T cash, and next month we're probably going to move up to 7. But I'm slowly working up, and I'm working up till 10. My goal is that by the time I'm at 10 each month, we should we should actually be looking at the bear market. So how I'm going to do this is, and let's find a clear space. All right, so let's say this is our highest point, and I'm just going to say, we're going to call it 10. And the reason we're doing this is that, you know what, we'll call it 100. So let's say it's 100. It's actually about 25,875. That's the value of the TSX at the end of January. So I'm going to just call that 100. So 100 equals 25,875. All right. So as the market starts to go down here, so let's say we get to 90, and we were briefly around 90. That was when Liberation Day we hit 90. I'm going to put that dot there for 90. So yeah, we did hit that. Now right now we've moved around a little bit, but we're somewhere in here. Here's my magic number. My magic number is 80. So that's at about 20%. So once we get down to here at this point, so from here to here, I am still adding. I'll just call it A. So well, I can do the D. I'm still adding to my cash position. Once I get below this 80, so once we're more than 20% from that upper high, I'm going to change gears. And at that point, I'm going to figure out, I'm going to do a DCA into, I'm probably not going to set it up in such a way where, you might say, oh, well, I'm going to buy one share of Canoe every single month. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to see which has I'll basically look at the dip. I'll maybe buy every Monday during the bear market, but I'll look at the dip. But I'll probably go with Tuesday, to be honest. So every Tuesday at, depending on the day, I'll probably start looking at the dips. I'll start buying that way. So the money that's in the T cash, TCSH. So let's just say, for example, well, we won't. Let's just say there's 100 of whatever in there. So 100%. I'm not going to just, as soon as we go into the bear market, drop 100%. No. I'm probably going to go, like, I'm anticipating this bear market to be about a year. That's what I'm thinking. Now, I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to start to play it as being a year. So what I'll probably do with the T cash is I'll probably do 10% a month. And we'll just put an M there. So I'll probably do 10% a month in the T cash. Now, while that's happening, the regular money that's coming in, so in the case of the challenge, that's like 500 plus any supers that we get as well. That there is all going to go, it's going to do the normal thing. It's going to, I'll continue to buy stuff with that. And I will probably still add to the T cash. So, at that point, I'm probably just I'll just drop back to 1 and I'll keep adding. So the nice thing about that is that if this goes longer than a year, because I'm still adding through here, there'll still be a little bit of money, even towards the end of that. So it'll keep it propagating. But anyway, that's what I'm looking to do. That is what I'm looking to do. Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. And give me 1 second here. All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. What do we got here? Let's see. I heard Bezos was listing the cost increase of tariffs on bills. Trump lost it on him. Now Bezos is not showing the tariff on billing. So yeah, Amazon, a rumor came out about Amazon saying that they were going to start listing. So when you go on Amazon, it would show you how much of the price is as a result of tariffs. So yeah, that was something that they were looking to do. So that's definitely very, very interesting. All right, there we go. Perfect. Now, apparently, according to apparently Trump wasn't happy about it, and there was a and of course, as soon as Jeff Bezos found out about it, found out that Trump wasn't happy, basically said, no, we're taking care of it. We're removing it. It's all good. But nonetheless, it's not going to happen now. So I'm not sure if that is a thing. All right. Is it a yield that is sustainable and is it volatile? Yeah, that's a good question. I assume that you're talking about WiMAX? Let's actually take a gander here. Give me a second here. Let's go over and... All right. We'll see if I have WiMAX. I should have WiMAX. Yeah, here it is. It's the Yield Max Universe Fund of Options Income. There we go, right there. All right, now, and you can sort of see with this one here, distribution, other regular. Okay, so this must be what's going on. 60%. This is kind of interesting. I just want to pull up the 3-year on that. Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean it has come down, but it really boils to let's see here. See the fund of funds, meaning they're primarily invest in assets and shares of other ETFs. I have a feeling this is investing in a lot of the other Yield Max ETF. So it's in a way it's like HHIS, but it is paying out apparently weekly. Let's just pull this up and take a look. Yeah, like look at this. April 25th, April 21st, April 11th. And it does seem to move. It does seem to move around a little bit, and that probably will be the case. It's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know if I'd be a little nervous. I'd be a little bit nervous with it because you got to keep in mind these yield max, like they're not actually holding any of the underlying assets. They're all synthetic covered calls. So that is interesting. It is absolutely interesting. It could, yeah. I mean, it might work out. It might work out. And how will a recession will look like? So with a recession, it's not going to be that different than right now, other than we'll actually have a title. Many Canadians have already reported it feels like we're in a recession now. Normally in a recession, you'll get a few different things happening. The economy will be slowed down, which we've already got because of the tariffs and things like that. You'll get more layoffs. So a lot of companies will be like, we're in a recession. We can't hire. We got hiring freezes. We're going to lay off people. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that will happen in a recession like that. So for the most part, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. Now, the nice thing though is, as I mentioned before, we'll go into a bear market during that, and that's cool. It's fine. We're in a bear market, not now, but when we get there, that's when the money's made as investors. Now, let me put this caveat out there. Hopefully, you don't lose your job in a recession so that you can still continue to take advantage of all of the great deals out there, because you're going to be buying stuff at really cheap prices. You're going to be pulling your adjusted cost base down big time as you're purchasing through that recession. And that's one of the reasons one of the reasons that I always talk about adding to your cash position in the good times, because when we're in a bull market and everything is up nice and high, you're not making a lot of profit on that stuff. You're not. So that's why it's always good to be pushing some of that money, pushing it into that cash position. So when you are in a recession and a bear market, you've got the capital to deploy. Because if you don't have that capital to deploy, you're not going to make some of the crazy profits that are available to be made in a bear market. And don't worry, Farhan, we're going to talk a lot more about it as we get closer. And, I will, of course, make more content on it as well. Cowboy says, would you be losing 15% weekly on those American dividends? Yeah, you would be. So depending on where you're holding them. If you're holding them in your RRSP, you're fine. Because, the IRS recognizes the RRSP as a registered account. If you're holding it in your TFSA, yeah, that 15% gone, nothing you can do. If you're holding it in a non-registered account, the 15% is taken, but you do get to apply for a tax credit. So you will get some of that back. But in the TFSA, worst place you can hold something like that, 100%. Paul says the NASDAQ composite has returned 22.3% between August 1st, 2023 and April 30th, 2025. My RRSP has done 57% for the same period. Yes. Oh, but I've seen the moves that you've been making, Paul. You've been playing some smart games, some very smart games in there to help push that up. So nothing wrong with that. FN dropped 7.3% today. It's a nice dividend, 20 cents a month. Could be a good buy time. Let me show you something, Cowboy. I want to show you something. All right. First National Corporation. All right, here we are. All right. Yeah, that is a big drop. Go away, ad. Just give me 1 second here. All right. I want to pull up. This is something I always like to say. When you get something with a big dividend like that, if it's been around long enough, I say head back to 2020 and see what it did in 2020. Now, actually, not bad. So yeah, that might be a good opportunity. When you first mentioned it, I was thinking of something else. I was actually thinking of a split core. This is not a split core, but nonetheless, what I just did going back and looking at stressors. So how did it handle the beginning of the pandemic? That's where history comes in. You can really get a good opportunity to sort of see how stable that dividend has been. And this actually looks like it has been pretty stable. So I am liking that. Now, let me see here. One other little thing here. Their debt to equity ratio, okay, 70.78%. That's not too shabby. Really good return on equity. So yeah, that might not be a bad thing. Yeah. I'm liking that. I was, like I said, initially I was thinking there's a split core that has FN something. And that I was thinking of that one initially. All right, Rory's in the house. Hello, Rory. Good to see you. All right. Brian says, I didn't break the bank on YMAX, but thought it would be interesting. It has also followed the U.S. market down as well. So it's hard to say what will happen in normal times. And that's a thing. And that's the one, my biggest fear with all of the yield max stuff is that we don't have the history to know how it's going to handle things when things get tough. And sometimes it's kind of like that. I don't want to be the experiment on something like that. It's like if they do not handle a recession, a U.S. recession and a bear market well, I don't want to be the one that loses a ton of money finding out. So that's kind of why I get a little bit, I'll call it conservative. I get very conservative on those funds for that reason. And hopefully I'm wrong. Like I want to be wrong. So that way on the other side of this, going into the next recession after this one, I'll actually be like, yeah, you know what? This is what it did in the last recession. Now we have a general idea of what's going to happen. All right. Paul says recession is when a neighbor loses his job. Depression is when you lose yours. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's like that neighbor pool. Brian says, "Oh, sorry. I said Brian, and then I start to read Bismarckies. Brian says, I hold them in my RRSP US account. Perfect. You are fine then. Bismarcky says, hello all. What about the withholding tax on covered call ETFs? Okay. So if it's a covered call ETF, a US covered call ETF, as in, out of the US, then yeah, you're looking at paying that withholding tax on that. Now, if it's a Canadian ETF, but it's holding all American companies, the withholding tax still makes a play, but it's in a little bit of a different way. So for example, let's use HYLD. So that's the Hamilton one. Now, most of what it holds is other ETFs, but they're holding American companies. So we'll just follow one company. So let's say HYLD through another ETF is holding NVIDIA. Well, we won't use NVIDIA. We'll go with it's holding O. So O is a what is it? That is it's a REIT. I think it's a REIT in the US. It has a high dividend. So that dividend, before it gets to Hamilton, loses 15%. So that 15% is taken off the board before it even gets to Hamilton. So Hamilton, when they say, okay, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you 14%, 14 point something dividend. Well, that withholding tax has already been taken out of that, because every single US company that pays dividends in that fund, that is all coming out of that. Now, mind you, you know what? We need the whiteboard for this. I want to point something out, because this is one thing that sometimes people kind of miss here. All right. So with those dividends, you are going to have a lot of that dividend is going to be premiums. So those are from the options. Those, there's no withholding tax on those. That's all in Canada. That's all Canada. So those are from options. You're not paying withholding tax. It's only the dividends from the US companies to, in this example, Hamilton. So those there you will get. Now, this is probably the premiums, all of the stuff they're doing to enhance. So you may say, oh, wait a minute. Well, HYLD doesn't have covered calls. They just have leverage. Well, all of the ETFs that they hold have the covered calls. So you are getting covered calls with that fund as well. But yeah, so all of the premiums, that all of that money is not withholding tax. It's just the dividends. And I don't know the exact numbers. I do not know the exact numbers, but I will wager that this is more than 50% of that dividend. So you're not getting hit that hard, but you are getting hit a little bit behind the scenes. It's already been accounted for. So that, what is it? Is it 14 cents a share, whatever it is? That's all going to you. You're not losing anything from that. All right. Paul says, the MST by Harvest buys actual strategy and only does cover calls on 50%. So the dividends come from Canada, has no issues with 15% IRS. Am I correct? So yeah. So the MSTY by Harvest, that's on the Canadian side. They're buying MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy does not have dividends. So yeah, there's no withholding tax at all. And the covered calls, once again, that's not withholding tax stuff. That is just premiums from the covered calls that they're selling. So yeah, there's absolutely no issues on MSTY at all. So you don't have to worry. Like, keep in mind, if you have any ETF you have, if it's holding US companies, but they are only growth stocks, like there's no dividend on them, then you don't have anything to worry about. And I will usually say too, like, for example, if I was going to hold something like Google, they have a brand new dividend. It's really small. Or am I thinking Google? Yeah, I think Google added a dividend, or Facebook. Sorry, Meta. Meta has a small one. Honestly, I wouldn't be worried. Like if I lose 15% of something that's like less than 1%, um, it's such a small amount. I wouldn't even be worried about it. DFN. Yeah, DFN, that's what I was thinking about. All right, cool. You know what I'm getting to at, Cowboy. I like it. I like it. Mario says, slow down, Paul. Carney will come after your money. Oh boy. Yeah, well, apparently he's too busy dancing right now. He's too busy dancing. So we're safe. We're safe for a moment. We're safe for a bit. Let's see. A yield max ETF would be doing bad if they have to do a reverse split, which some have had to do to stay listed. Yeah, that would. Not a fan of the reverse splits. I'm usually not a fan. The whiteboard getting schooled. I just like I don't know what I like being able to draw. I like being able to draw. Mario says Harvest has 2 new funds, HBIX and HBTE. Ooh, I do not know. Let's see if we can actually find out what these are. Let's take a look here. HBIX, HBIX. All right. Yeah, you see, like they're not even coming up yet. They're not coming up yet. Oh boy. It looks like to me like there's going to be. All right, so let's see, HBIX and HBTE. I have a feeling, is the second one more of an enhanced version of the first one? Let's go to Harvest. All right, let's take a look here and see. All right, here they are, available now for trading. All right, so no, okay, these are both Bitcoin ones as well. All right, nice. Hello, come on. Oh, guys, why did you do that? All right, it bounced back. All right, we're going to go in again. I'm trying to get us over here. Let's go to HBIX first. So enhanced. Ooh, so this is more enhanced stuff. Let's take a look. Interesting. So $12. All right. All right. So it's got some. Oh, it's got active covered calls and leverage up to 25%. Interesting. So that there is HBIX. What is the other one? What is the seriously? All right, HBTE. There we go. Harvest Bitcoin leaders. Ooh. All right. Oh, okay. So this one here holds 15 of the top public traded within the Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. Okay, so they're probably holding strategy, I imagine. Overlies an active covered call plus 25%. Let's take a look. I'm curious to see, who are they holding? Let's see. We got crypto miners, Bitcoin treasury, digital asset management. All right. Let's see who they got. All right. We got iShares Bitcoin Trust. We got Strategy. We got Galaxy Digital Holding, Coinbase, Block, Mara, Riot, Core Scientific, CleanSpark, BitDeer Technologies. Oh, there's a few more here. Let's just see. Hut 8. Hut 8 is in there. IREN, TerraWolf, Cipher Mining, BitFuFu. All right. I kind of like that name. BitFuFu. Love it. I love it. All right. These are very, very cool. All right. Oh, there it is. The Nightbot. You're late. Yeah, I forgot all about that. So if you guys do want a Friday show, you guys know what to do. For supers or gifted or whatever. I'm always game. All right. Paul says, NVIDIA has a small dividend too. That's right. NVIDIA just did that as well. Holy banana bread. Let's see. Carnegie even plagiarized the Bermuda tax haven from J.D. Irving. Irving Oil has been headquartered in Bermuda since the 1970s. Oh, I'm sure if you can count on the liberals for one thing, you can count on scandals. I'm sure we're going to have some good ones. And here's the thing, Cowboy. I'm just hoping, I'm really, really hoping that the liberals and the conservatives sort of put things aside just for a wee bit to get some stuff done. And that, to me, that means all of the trade barriers. I want to see that energy pipeline. I want to see it. So um, prove to us, Carney, that it's not all talk. Prove to us. The ball is in your court. Don't just dance. All right. Rory says Charlie Munger always called Bitcoin trading turds. He did. Absolutely. Both himself and of course Warren Buffett, they've never really been a fan of Bitcoin, and it's newer technology. So they're, with their age, I can kind of understand why they might be a little resistant to it. But I mean, the reality is it's making a lot of money. So making a lot of money. Tim says putting my whole portfolio into MSTE tomorrow. Okay, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, Tim. I think you're joking, though. I think you're joking, but you know me, I like diversification. I would never put my entire portfolio into any, even something I love like canoe. I would not do it. Let's see. The government of Canada bought almost all the media in Canada, so scandals don't matter. The country is toast. Uh-oh. Rory says, if Canada doubles down on energy cap, Alberta is already talking separation. I did actually see an interview. I saw an interview with the premier, and she was saying that currently she's not planning to put any thing across, like any kind of legislation for separation, but she does want Carney to take Alberta seriously when they start looking at negotiations and things like that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The nice thing, one nice thing about Carney, and I know a lot of you guys don't like him, but one nice thing about him is he kind of has that vibe. He kind of has a conservative vibe to him in many, many ways. So I'm hoping, if anything, he takes this Liberal Party a little bit more to the right, because there's a lot of stuff that has to get done. But if he lets up and we see it, and he doesn't pull, he doesn't do what needs to be done. There he can kiss any kind of re-election goodbye very quickly. So he's got a lot he's got to get done. Let's see. Bismarck says maybe Pierre should have challenged Carney to a dance-off. Yeah, it was actually. I think it was one of the comedians from last night. They showed they showed Carney's dance, and then they showed Trump's dance, and they said maybe that was how we should settle the tariff wars, with a dance-off. And yeah, for sure, Carney would win. It's not hard to beat the YMCA. Let's see. Well, Candace, I want to be young and handsome, but I think I have a better chance than the Liberals, being honest. All right. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I'm just glad that you guys are still a part of Canada for now. Rory says Scott Moe in Saskatchewan is along the same lines, have cooperation with Saskatchewan Energy, or other steps could be in motion. Yeah, no, you have to respect. You've got to respect Saskatchewan. You have to respect Alberta. Alberta's hugely important to the Canadian economy, like hugely important. So yeah, I would definitely say, and you guys, if you remember earlier, what I was sort of mentioning about, it is permitted for the government to actually appoint a minister from another party. I really think Carney needs to do that. I think he needs to put a conservative in his cabinet. I do. I really think he does. I think the last time it was done was during wartime, but let's show that, that unity. I mean, you don't have to keep them in there for the whole time. Like, if it takes a year to get things ironed out with the US, fine. Just have somebody in there for that year. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, Carney. If any of you know Carney, send this to him. Tell him to do it. All right. Paul says, Tim putting whole portfolio into MSTE will give you nice volatility. Just get used to being up and then down. I saw that in November 2024. 100% strategy and not taking profits. Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. No, you gotta, if you're playing, if you were doing that actually, that's when that word diamond hands comes in. Diamond hands. All right. Oh, Derek. Derek is a future SLXNW NASDAQ millionaire. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. That would be awesome. Let's see. Who's going to pay the bills when Alberta leaves? Doug the Slug? No. Actually, there used to be a band called Doug and the Slugs. Just, putting that out there. Carney is a serious embarrassment. Thanks. Me too. Yeah. Derek wants to be a millionaire. I'd like to see you as a millionaire. Absolutely. Doug and the Slugs, #1 fan, age 4. Like, trying to think, what songs did they have? Making It Work. That's the one that sticks into my mind. And I think there were a few other ones out there as well. But yeah, that were solid, good Canadian band. They never really made it that big, but I think they were beloved in parts of Canada for sure. Paul says, if Alberta leaves, BC will be paying for Quebec. Nah. Let's hope we don't see that. I love Canada the way it is. I love all of our provinces. Although I've never been to Newfoundland, but I've been to every province but. Let's see. Mario says, whoops, Day by Day. Yeah, that's another Doug and the Slug song, Day by Day. Gotta love it. Old Canada tears me up. For Doug and the Slugs. Yeah, it's almost like after this stream is finished, I should rename it Doug and the Slugs. I'm not gonna, but I should. Let's see. Mama let him play. Is that? Ooh, okay. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, guys, if you got your final questions, it's time to get them in. Doesn't mean we're leaving right away, but I want to hear what you guys got to say as we're sort of cruising towards the end. Now, the next video, by the way, 0 to 100K challenge. So that's our Friday video. Channel members will see that tomorrow. One of the benefits of being a channel member is, well, you get to see everything a little bit early. You get to vote on stuff, all of that fun stuff. And I am looking. Oh, I know what I want to talk about here in a second. I am looking at seeing if I can find a way to set up sort of a channel member only area on the old Discord. But right now, everybody has access to everything, and the Discord is awesome. So if you would like to check out the Discord, here it comes. Here comes a link for it, or hopefully here comes a link for it. Nightbot, give us the link. Come on. There we go. There we go. I love it. Cowboy says, Ford was the slug I was referring to. I know. You were thinking about Doug Ford. Understood. It was just when you said Doug and slug together, it popped up. Actually, ironically, I think it was Day by Day now that I think about it. I have, like, when I do my workout, I listen to 80s music. So I love 80s music. And I do have I do have Doug and the Slugs there, and I think Day by Day did come up earlier today when I was doing my workout. So now, mind you, I have my Spotify list for workout. It's like it's 18 hours of 80s music, so there's a lot in there. But I gotta love it. Rory says I missed out on HOD this morning. All right, now here's what I wanted to mention. Yeah, good old Blossom. Oh, by the way, this is the 0 to 100K challenge right here. So one of the nice things right now, the Blossom desktop app is in beta. So a few of you have said that I can't sign up with your link, Candace, because I don't want to do it on my phone, or I don't have a tablet. Good news. I reached out and I was talking to Brandon Beavis, today actually, and he assured me once this is no longer in beta, once the full live version is ready, you'll be able to sign up through it. So you won't have to, you won't have to sign up on your phone. So if you're one of these desktop users, you'll be able to get Blossom, no problem. But Blossom, guys, in case you're new to the channel, Blossom is the social media for investors. It is a pretty cool place. I want to say all, but most of the Canadian financial YouTubers are all here. There is a link below. In fact, I should have made a Nightbot for that link, but it takes me 2 seconds to go grab it for you. I'm going to grab it. I'll grab it. I'll drop it in here. All right. Actually, give me 1 second here. I'm going to grab it from a different place. I'm going to grab it from a link over here from Brandon Beavis. They just updated the link, so I might as well give you the new link. I think the old one still works, but let's give you the new one here. All right, here we go. And I will get the Nightbot. I'll get the Nightbot. I'll get that programmed in as well for the Nightbot. So yeah. Oh, and I see an email from Vic. Yay! Awesome. So we can get that. We get moving ahead with that as well. All right. Paul says, being in BC, you hear about stuff the next few provinces to the east and Ottawa stuff, but you hear almost nothing about Newfoundland. When I do tune into Newfoundland YouTube, I see separation ones. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't hear a lot about Newfoundland, that's for sure. Lately it's all been Ontario, Ontario, Alberta, and Nova Scotia, only because Nova Scotia, Tim Houston in Nova Scotia, I think he actually endorsed, believe it or not, I think he endorsed Carney. So I'm like, what? Echo Beach. There we go. Well, that's a good song. Martha and the Muffins. Yeah, absolutely. Mario says, my ETF TF almost went to my average cost. Once it does, I'm selling it. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. You know what? I have a lot of faith in Timber Creek Financial, but I probably, if I get back into the green with them too, I might consolidate down, move more of that into RMAX, I think, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I still have a lot of faith in them. The Cars and Duran Duran. Yeah, these are some good music. Like, Duran Duran, absolutely. They're bangers, no doubt about it. And the Cars, they've got some really good stuff. Like, Drive. That's probably a classic. Yeah, Blossom Desktop. Yeah, Blossom Desktop will be up and running. Paul, Derek, is that your 12-year-old photo? Kim Mitchell. Oh God, yeah, Kim Mitchell sweat on me once, and that it's a weird thing to say, but it annoyed me. He was playing in Halifax at the time. I was there, and my friend was a big Kim Mitchell fan, and he kind of pushed us up to the front. And I was there, and yeah, a little bit of his sweat fell on me, so I wasn't too impressed with that. But I think Kim Mitchell's great. Go for Soda, Patio Lanterns, definitely a nice one. Cowboy's also going to drop TF as well. Rush, yeah, Geddy Lee, you can't. What can you do? Nobody can beat his vocals. Corey Hart, #1 fan. I cried when Bryan Adams beat him for a Juno Award in 1985. I always felt that Corey Hart was so underrated. Because back then Bryan Adams got all the glory, but Corey Hart, some of his stuff was really, really good, like really good. So I don't know if I had to choose between the two, Derek. I think I'd be in your camp. I think I would choose Corey Hart. I like Bryan Adams. I think I like Corey Hart a tiny bit better. Yeah, absolutely. Derek says, there is a 9-year-old photo. I'm a child rights anti-child abuse advocate with my music and art. Nice. Definitely a good cause there. Paul says, Billy Idol has a new album out, but his voice sounds off, or I have terrible earbuds. Yeah, I found a live concert footage of him when he was in Montreal just recently, like I think it was last summer. And yeah, you could tell, you could hear the age in there, like, you know, his it was just off a little bit. Which is too bad because I mean Billy Idol, I mean, I thought he was awesome. I still like Billy Idol. I think he's pretty cool. Did you go for a soda? Yeah, I'm pretty square, so yeah, pretty much. Brian says, I saw Kim Mitchell back with Max Webster in the 70s. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Kim Mitchell came to the Bronson Center last year. Nice. Rory says, I like the older Billy Idol tunes. I'll tell you a funny story. A funny story. I was flipping through the TV one day, and I heard the Rebel Yell riff right away. So I stopped. And then I'm like, what am I looking at? There was a Muppet. There was a Muppet Billy Idol singing about the Rebel L. It turns out Sesame Street did parody of the video. If you have not seen the Rebel L, the Sesame Street parody, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Feel free to check that out. But I was just like, oh my God, this is hilarious. So I loved it. Yeah, absolutely. Corey Hart, huge, underrated for sure. Amanda Marshall at Lulu's in Kitchener. Waiting for a stock to get out of a loss could be worse than just jumping to a faster stock. Sometimes. Yeah, I mean, if you have a stock, especially if it's deep in the red and you don't have a lot of faith in it, and you've got another stock that's in a similar position, but you do have a lot of faith in it, sometimes a sideways movement, not a bad thing. It is an option for sure. And plus, if you're outside of a registered account, that would also become a tax loss harvesting opportunity. Let's see. My old shoe store manager was so proud she shagged Billy Idol back in the mid 80s. All right, why not? All right, I'm not gonna put her name up, Derek. Let's see. Disney could be a good short to do or put options. Yeah, Disney struggles. Disney has struggled for a long time. And I'll tell you, even right now, I'm watching Andor season 1 was fantastic. And I have started watching Andor season 2. I'm only 4 episodes in, but I gotta say, it's kind of slow. I'm hoping it picks up. I'm like, oh my God, whatever happened to the fun Star Wars? It just seems to not be there anymore sometimes. Derek says, maybe I should have named her. My bad. She wouldn't care. Probably not. Probably not. Let's see. I have only gone to 2 Kiss concerts and 2 Neil Diamond concerts. My dad listened to Neil Diamond, Kenny Rogers, and other stuff like that. Am I the only one left holding the bag for pot stocks going down? I think a lot of people's investment went up in smoke. No pun intended, but yeah. Now, Paul, when it comes to concerts, I have seen. These are the only concerts I've seen. I can name all the concerts I've seen in my life. Gowan. I've seen Gowan, Platinum Blonde, Garth Brooks, Samantha Fox, and then I've seen I've seen a few smaller bands like Kim Mitchell and things like that. I've also been to Lilith Fair, so I've seen like Sarah McLachlan and Sixpence None the Richer and all of those who were at that event. But that's it. That's my entire concert. I did go see Cats once, but that's not really a concert. That's a musical. So, Paul says, Brian, you could be waiting for years for pot stocks to back up, or Canadian oil. Platinum Blonde is immense. Yeah, I mean, Platinum Blonde, to me, they always had that energy, like really good music for working out, because they have that absolute energy. Paul says Coca-Cola needs to get into pot. I don't do pot, so not interested, but if Coke sold pot, it would be funny. maybe I don't know. It's fun. It's fun nonetheless. What can I say? All right, guys. So it looks like our next live is going to be Sunday. So we'll be back here Sunday with This Week. We do have a video coming out, tomorrow for the channel members, Friday for everybody else. And that's going to be the 0 to 100K challenge as we get that going again. Um, how can you be from Halifax and not seen April? I've heard of April wine. I never did get to see them. Maybe I was too young. Maybe I was too young. Like I remember April. People were obsessed with April wine when I was like um in like junior high. Where is Anne Murray from? She is from Spring Hill, Nova Scotia. So, yeah, she is from Nova Scotia for sure. All right. Okay, guys. I believe it or not, I don't think my thing is hooked up. I don't know if I can hook it up while I'm on live. Let's just take a look in here. Outro video. All right. I'm adding my normal outro video. All right. Bang. Set. All right. I think it might have worked. All right. Let's go big screen here because I don't want to leave here while I am little screen. Let's see. Thank you. It'll be interesting to see your 0 to 100K. Looking forward to it. Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait till this is the beautiful part. This is what I'm loving about this challenge is going through the recession. And once we get out of the recession and out of the bear market, once we get through that, on the other side of that, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to look at that growth in there. All right, guys, a quick like before the stream ends. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, hit the like button on the way out, guys. Thanks and good night. Thanks from Tom. All right, everybody. If you haven't hit the like button, hit it now. If you're waiting for the last minute, it's here. We're here. We're in the last minute. Mountain Finance #1 in Laurentian, Canada. There we go. There we go. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys on Sunday. Can't wait. No, Mary. Whoops, sorry. Mary was here earlier. So she was here. I can only hit it once. Yeah. If you hit it twice, it kind of unlikes it. Dice. All right, guys. All right. I gotta say hi to Bleak before I go. Hey, Bleak. Good to see you. You came in at the end, but there's always the replay. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you on Sunday. Take care.